Kwenn in the book is introduced as a planet of large significance to a lot of the Jedi High Council members. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but when you have a story that takes place directly before an official episode of Star Wars, if we're talking about that, or directly after, you expect it to have a strong connection to that official story. This one doesn't really, with the exception of how the public perception of the Jedi have changed and how that may affect them later in episode 3, and I argue that it probably did affect it a lot. With the planet Kwenn being mentioned so much by the Jedi, if it's such an important place to them and it held strong significance, it felt like, if that's the case, why isn't it mentioned in episode 1? And obviously because the idea hasn't been presented yet, but that's the risk you take with introducing new things that people hold value to that take place before other stories where they don't mention it at all. If it was valuable, they would have mentioned it later. That's what would have happened. Maybe it wasn't mentioned because it was kind of a forgotten place because they talked about it 200 years ago. So there's that too, but it is risky to bring things into play in that nature. Follow for more Star Wars content.